Hi, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you're calling in from. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day with us today. We're going to be talking about how you can thrive and grow in this wild market that we are in. My name is Angel Elliott. I'm Director of Organization Development here at SunWest. And I've got May Mackey with me, who is our VP of Production, and of course, Pavan Agarwal, our CEO. So Pavan, where are you calling in from today? Always on the move.
I'm in New York, and I always want to say this, live from New York. It's Thursday morning. But I'm in New York. I just finished speaking at the Benzinga crypto conference. And I was explaining our blockchain technology, not to be confused with crypto, although the conference name is crypto, not to be confused with crypto. We're doing blockchain technology, and it is the future of real estate. We're leading on this technology. We have multiple patents on it. And I want to just put that in context for a minute. So 43% of all home buyers today are millennials. Okay. So whereas the average age of loan originators is 55. So there's an age gap between loan originators and your customers. So you got to stop and absorb that for a minute. So don't think about how you look at the world. Think about how they look at the world. Okay, so you want to be, if you look at it from their perspective, they would rather talk to or message a computer than talk to a person. Okay, they would rather be involved in blockchain than with paperwork. Okay, they would rather use Venmo than their debit card. Okay. Venmo is just a precursor to blockchain based funds disbursement transactions. Right. So if we can make, so Morgan, not if, but Morgan is making home purchase. We have made a home purchase as simple as Venmo.
That's got to be music to everyone's ears.
Here, and that's what our patents are all about. And that is why you need to be partnered with SunWest through either channel, wholesale or retail. You need to be partnered with us. It says you will miss out on 50%. And that market share is only growing, right? Because after millennials is Gen Y, and they're coming of age. So you're going to go from 43% to 63% very soon.
In no time.
Yeah. And the millennials, and by the time millennials and Gen Y have taken over the market, your baby boomers are all in reverse mortgages. So we're going to be talking about next week. I think it's next Friday, right?
Next Friday.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about which is the fastest growing demographic is reverse mortgages. And we're going to be talking about how SunWest is a leader in the reverse mortgage space, and how you can tap into that technology and very rapid closings. Because the big fear about reverse mortgages is, they take forever. It's a slow, painful process and whatever. No, we've been doing this reverse mortgages for 20 years. We're very, very good at it. And it's also driven by AI. It's also, blazing fast, 7-10 day closings. So we're going to explain all that in next Friday's conference call. So there's lots and lots of opportunity here. You just have to understand the market. You have to understand the demographics. You have to have the tools to be ready for it. So I know a lot of you, a lot of originators today, you're in your 50s and you're thinking, what is this blockchain and what is all this stuff? I don't think it applies. Okay, wake up call, it applies. Because your customer wants it. Your customer is clamoring for it. And if you don't jump onto the platform that has it, you will lose those customers. So Back to you, Angel.
Well, that's a great introduction to exactly what we're going to be talking about today, because how you grow and thrive in this market depends on the tools that you have and how productive the tools that you have are. So we'll be talking about our loan process here at SunWest, the loan officer experience, broker experience, customer experience, but it all really comes down to that one thing, which is technology. So up here, there he is. There's a statement from our CEO, Pavan.
I think I look better with the cap on. How you my bald head. What do you think?
It is
Meg?
a cool hat. It is a cool hat.
I mean, I do want one of those hats, definitely. But, you know, either way, you look great, Pavan.
Well, hey, Angel, you didn't introduce May to our audience.
Yes, May Mackey. So our VP of production, you want to go ahead and say hello to everyone?
Hi, everyone. My name is May Mackey. I'm the VP of production. I've been with SunWest almost 15 years now. It'll be 15 years in April. And I remember coming on board and we were doing lots of HECM. So I'm looking forward and excited about talking with everyone about the HECM program. But I remember coming on board, meeting Pavan, loving everything about the company. I was just joking with Jennifer the other day about how when I first came on board as a processor for SunWest, at that time the goal was resolve 10 conditions a day, get 4 loans to docs, and Jennifer said, and then you just knock that out the box. And because I just kept kept going, because I was just really excited about what I was doing, and I'm still excited about everything that SunWest is doing. Love Morgan, everything about the technology and the direction the company is going. So I'm excited to be here.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, it's exciting to be a part of, because in what is usually such a traditional industry, SunWest is consistently on the forefront of innovating.
Absolutely.
So our goal and why we are always innovating to make the loan origination process more streamlined, more efficient, really comes down to supporting our originators. And that goes for our retail channel and our broker partners as well. So what you'll see here when we get into some of our systems and technology is that the goal at SunWest is really to allow originators to get out there and do what you guys do best, which is get the loans. Right? So, get out there and meet clients, build relationships with referral sources, go to community events, open houses, all of those things that are going to bring the application in and not take up your time with everything that comes afterwards. Because what you'll see here is we've developed the technology so that once the application's in, pretty much everything else can be automated. You'll see we have extremely advanced AI built all throughout our systems, which leads to high levels of automation and just overall a very simple, smooth, quick origination process. So we're going to get into the technology, how we do all of this, but it would mean nothing without the data, the numbers, the proof in the pudding. So we'll start there. So this is pretty much hot off the press. So this is our 90-day report card. So for the past 3 months through the end of November here, all of our loan volume. You've heard of our 8 a.m. approvals, which means a loan gets submitted by 8 p.m. in your local time zone. It'll have its conditional approval by 8 a.m. the next morning. 99.8% of all loans in the past 100 days met that 8 a.m. the next morning promise. And those aren't just the cookie cutter, easy, fits right into the box loans. As you can see, out of all of those loans over the past 100 days, over 32% of them were for borrowers with FICOs less than 620. So when those loans get a little hairier, that doesn't mean these turn times slow down. Almost 50% here, down payment of 5% or less, almost 50% of the loans, and over 50% of the buyers were first-time home buyers. So those more complicated loans, we're still hitting the same turn times because of that advanced AI that we have in our system. So, you know, really think about it. Be honest with yourselves. How many loans has your current underwriting team declined because of some of these more complicating factors? How much business has that cost you? Condition review is fast and only getting faster, really close to 100% of conditions. 99.5% of conditions are signed off in under an hour and a half. 95% are done in under an hour, and 70% of them are done in just 40 minutes or less.
And I can definitely attest to that, because I get calls all the time from either the processor or a loan officer, like, this condition is still pending, can you get it signed off? And by the time I go into the loan, it's already been cleared. So conditions are definitely being resolved much quicker than I can get to them.
Perfect example of the AI being faster than a human.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the goal is we're going to have that down to a couple of minutes. So if you've been tracking us for the past 2 years, you've seen that these numbers have come in consistently every other month. You know, not too long ago, we're at 2 hours. Now we're under 1 hour, and this is all happening because the technology keeps ratcheting up. As the OCR and the AI gets smarter, this thing gets shorter and shorter. So, you know, we're weeks, maybe months away from this being, you know, 99% under 2 minutes. That's exciting. That means you drop in a document instantaneously. You will know right away, is it cleared or not?
It really is amazing, because no longer do you have those days where you have loans that are trying to, like, for example, we had a loan today that was trying to close today, but they just assigned or uploaded the conditions today. And so there's no longer the excuse of, well, you just gave it to me today, so I need time to review it. No, the conditions are being reviewed right away. And so that loan was still able to close.
Yep, that's excellent. Great testament to that turn time promise. And some of you, maybe some numbers people out there may be wondering, well, okay, what about that 0.05%, Angel, what happened to those? So the great thing about the AI and how AI works is that it's continuously learning. So the AI, every once in a while, very small number of conditions, it's going to run into a really complex or unique scenario that it hasn't learned yet. So that's where you get that 0.05% that don't hit that turn time. We're still pretty quick, but that is because it is a really complicated or unique scenario that the AI hasn't learned yet. But again, the beauty is it's always learning. So the next time it runs into a situation like that, that condition's back in our 60-minute review turn time. So that could be documents in foreign languages may take a little bit more time. More complicated employment history, like a borrower who had multiple jobs with multiple employers over the past just couple of years. Borrowers who are entrepreneurs that also have multiple rental properties. So things like that might not hit that 60-minute mark, but you're still going to get really quick condition resolution and review.
Yeah, I'd just say that for any document any situation that slips past the 60-minute as SunWest, other lenders forget about it. They can't even figure it out. It wouldn't even be days. If they even get it figured out, it'll be days. So there's just no comparison. And we're talking about minutes and fractions of a percentage here. And the real difference here is you're gonna get loans done that you never thought you could get done before, or loans that you had to battle underwriting multiple times to get the a reasonable answer.
Right. Think about loan files that you have had with borrowers with a credit score on the lower side. 580 credit scores. Can you get those closed in 10 days? Because that's what we're doing here at SunWest with this technology. And that's why we're able to call ourselves the home of fair lending. Because fair lending means that you can provide the same level of service or turn times to all of your borrowers, regardless of whether they have a more complicated financial situation or not. And remember, this is a 24-hour operation. So when we say 1 hour, if your borrower gets off work at 10 p.m. and they upload a condition, that turn time stands. So no other lender comes close to these promises that SunWest is able to make. And we've looked. I'm sure many of you have as well. So I'm actually going to pull some of the things up that we found here. Names have been blocked out to protect the innocent. But let's take a look. So here's turn times on one competitor's website, 1 day for everything. All right. So so that's express setup is 1 day. Mate, how long does a setup take at SunWest?
Hours.
And it's straight to underwriting. All of our files go direct to underwriting. So when you get your conditional approval, those are the conditions. Whether it's a pre-approval or a true loan, it's going direct to underwriting.
Absolutely.
Now let's take a look at another one. So this one caught my eye because I was like, whoa, they're getting close, 2 hours. But that is only if you're submitting it between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. So once again, we're looking at 1 hour, 24 hours a day. Whenever your borrower is off work and available and the kids are in bed and they're ready to focus on getting in what you need to get their loan done.
Yeah, and this is for a scenario. So if you go to Morgan and you ask Morgan a question about a loan scenario, typically, most scenarios will be answered in a couple of minutes. And the most complex scenario, probably an hour on the outside. And again, that's 24/7.
All right. Here's
we
another
were referring
one.
to scenarios, not setup.
Yeah, the first one was setup.
Okay.
That one was scenarios. This one is condition package upload. So they've got all of this. I'm not going to make you guys read all of this, but if you submit by just before 8 on Monday, we're going to count that as a Tuesday, 1 day turn time. So we'll have it done by the end of Tuesday. But if it was 8:01, it's going to be treated as a Tuesday upload. So Wednesday will be the day that we'll promise, except it's not a promise because then it says turn times are estimated on the day's loan volume. So it's actually not even a promise. And I do hear that question a lot. Like, yeah, these turn times look great, but that's at today's volume. So what happens, what if there's a big refi boom? What happens when volume increases? Nothing. It stays the same. So the way that the system, everything is working currently, we can actually quadruple loan volume without having to add any staff, with the technology supporting at the exact same levels as it is today, which is really important because that's how we keep costs down. That's how you get lower pricing, your borrowers get lower rates, because SunWest has such a low overhead cost. So what happens after 4 times? Once we quadruple our loan volume, that's not the ceiling, we continue to grow. What would happen is very marginal increase of operations staff would be added per 50 additional loans per day. So again, it's completely scalable at any volume without increasing pricing, without increasing overhead by a material amount. So you are only as productive as the tools you use. And as a reminder, the tools that we're going to look at, namely Morgan, our best friend in mortgage, these are available for both our retail division and our wholesale partners. So this technology, these tools support both channels equally. So Morgan. You've probably already heard a little bit about Morgan, but if you haven't, I'm pleased to be the first to introduce you to your new best friend. Morgan is our AI assistant. I always hesitate to call it that because, you know, we think of our Google Assistant or Siri, and Morgan is so much more than that. You know, with these other assistants, you have to, you know, they've got a set amount of things that they can do and you have to ask just in the right way, or they say, I don't know that one. Morgan will never say, sorry, I don't know that one. You can ask Morgan anything to do with mortgage, SunWest, or anything in between, and you will get an answer. So underwriting scenarios, income calculation, if you have questions about guidelines, if your loan is with SunWest, Morgan can actually do things on your loan for you. Change the loan product, add a borrower, remove a borrower, order initial or final CDs. Literally anything you need to do on a loan, Morgan can actually do for you in a very simple, just chat format. So when Pavan was saying earlier, that's how millennials, Gen Z, they prefer to interact over text. That's how Morgan was born. Because if you can send a text message, you can use Morgan. So let's talk a little bit about, you know, how the technology works. So as I mentioned earlier, the AI, it is always learning, which is really cool. So the more we use it, the better and faster it gets every single day. All of the answers that you get from Morgan, and this is huge, anything Morgan tells you, SunWest backs 100%. So you can always feel confident when you get an answer from Morgan that that is the right answer, that you can go back to your borrower or your referral partner and give them that answer, and you're not going to have to come back with your tail between your legs a few days later going, well, they changed their mind, sorry. Now, how do we do that? So as consumers, myself included, we're all used to going out to Google and you type in your question, hit enter, and instantaneously you've got literally millions of answers. Then it's up to us, right? Google has spit out everything that will match those keywords we gave it. We've got to sort through and figure out where's the information I actually wanted. And then we have to take it a step further, because actually anyone can put anything on the internet. So you have to take it a step further and verify that that information is correct. So when you're using Morgan, SunWest, as I mentioned, backs 100% of what Morgan tells you. So there will be times that, just like Google, you get that instantaneous answer. You ask Morgan a question that the AI knows, and it's already kind of mind-boggling how much the AI knows. Other times, if you ask a question that the AI hasn't learned yet, or maybe it's requires some sort of analysis and income calculation, Morgan's going to give you an ETA. So you don't have to hang out on the screen. You can put your phone down, close out your browser. Morgan will send you a text and an email when she's got the answer for you. So you just click on the link, you're right back there in the conversation, and you see that answer. And you know it's the right answer. So Google, millions of answers, up to you to verify. Morgan, you get one answer. And SunWest backs at 100%. Anything you want to add to that, Pavan? I know Morgan is your brainchild.
I think the challenge I would ask anyone would be, take the most complex deal, most complex scenario, ask your favorite underwriter or your favorite lender, and then ask Morgan. And then just see whose answer is more meaningful and more accurate and faster. And then at the end of that, then go back and ask your favorite lender underwriter is, will you stand behind that answer? Without any ifs or buts. And I've never heard of any underwriter or lender making that commitment. That's the big difference. So this is a product with a warranty. And that takes all of the stress and drama out of the loan origination process. And it also gives you credibility, so that when you're talking to a realtor, a referral partner, or a borrower, and you can say, look, I've got this warranty on my statements. That changes everything.
All right, so let's look at some examples. Here I've attached 2 years of tax returns. So even those more complicated income scenarios, self-employed, whatever it is, drop the documents into Morgan, let Morgan figure it out for you. 2 reasons I would say always use Morgan for income calculation. One, you're saving yourself the time, which is a huge one. We all only have 24 hours in the day, so you want to be as productive, as efficient as possible. And 2, as we just mentioned, the answer is guaranteed. As long as the loan is with SunWest, the answer is guaranteed. So I dropped 2 years of tax returns in there. Now, if I had taken my time to do the income calculation, and I'm human, maybe I made a mistake. When that loan goes through underwriting, income calculation is going to be corrected. If I have Morgan do the income calculation, one, I've just saved myself a bunch of time that I can be focused on growing my business instead of doing an income calculation. And 2, I know that income calculation is backed by SunWest. So if for some reason Morgan got the income calculation wrong, she overstated the income, when that loan goes through underwriting, that error is found, we're going to go back to what Morgan said, and that is the income calculation we will honor. And I know this is a lot of text on a little screen here. I will blow it up. So this was Morgan's answer for those tax returns. So she gave me what I asked for. She said borrower's income is $9,966. Usable income is $8,822 and some change. She told me which documents we would need to verify the income. And then I thought it was important for this example to blow the whole thing up so you could see this second paragraph. Because in the first paragraph, that's what I asked for. I gave her the tax returns. I said, give me the income calculation, and she did. But in the second paragraph, you'll notice she says, additional concern here, the borrower is employed by his spouse's company. So in order to use salaried from a family-owned business, we're going to need these additional documents. So what Morgan's done here is reviewed these tax returns the exact same way that a human underwriter would. Not just spitting out the calculation because that's what I asked for, but reviewing all of the documents to see, is there anything else that I should know? Because now that I know this, I can set the right expectation up with my borrower. All right, so let's give this a try. We're gonna do a real simple request in Morgan. So you guys are here, you're watching the live, so you must be in Morgan. So you're already here. You can choose to take out another device or just do it right here in the window. And tell Morgan, I want a t-shirt. You may have been noticing our triplet t-shirts today.
We coordinated our wardrobe.
On Wednesdays, we wear Morgan. So if you were wondering where we got these t-shirts and you've been thinking to yourself, where can I get one of my own? Just tell Morgan you want a t-shirt. She'll get your information, your size, and she will send you a free t-shirt right to your house. So that is a quick and fun way to get acquainted with Morgan. But remember, you can ask Morgan anything to do with mortgage in SunWest. Even if your loan is not currently with SunWest, you can still ask questions, guideline questions, underwriting scenarios, income calculation. Get an idea, like Pavan said, give it your most complex, challenging scenario. Test it out yourself, see what it can do. Here's one example. I asked what the max LTV for an FHA cash out refi was. Let's load up here. And here she told me LTV max is 80%. And now I can feel confident going back to my borrower and telling them that. All right, so with all of this technology, we have a very unique loan file workflow. As I mentioned at the top of the call, the goal is to support our originators to be focused on growing their business, not on taking their loan through every step to funding. So we try to take as much off your guys' plate as possible. Loan officer tasks are just a handful of things. You get the application in, or your borrower applies online. You run credit, upload your documents. So as you saw, you just drop them into Morgan. Morgan can review them for you before you even have her upload them if you'd like. You want to give Morgan whatever you have. So of course, the most critical for an underwriting decision is going to be your income asset documentation. If you don't have anything else, don't worry about it. We'll get it later. And then you submit. Borrower completes e-consent and you submit. And that's it. We can stop there.
So, I mean, we got originators, hundreds of originators do this every single day. And hundreds more brokers do this every single day. So it really is that simple. You take the loan application, reasonably complete loan application. You all are professional loan officers. You know what that means. And instead of dropping it to your loan opener, you simply drop it into Morgan. Use a paperclip icon to drop in the documents and the information to Morgan, and then just let her do her thing. Right. Within an hour, the loan's completely processed. That includes all the steps: case numbers pulled, CAVers, work verification. Everything is done within the hour, and guaranteed by next morning, 8 a.m., you get a full, truly underwritten approval, an approval that we stand behind, and we're not going to change. It's final. So even on a TBD, that approval, we call it true approval. That's final. It's not like Other lenders, you do a TBD and then it just gets re-underwritten all over again. And the initial approval doesn't really mean much or doesn't mean anything at all. It's just a DU pull. So this is a final approval. And from approval, you just as you get conditions, you just drop them into Morgan. Your title officer can drop in title conditions. Your realtors can go into Morgan and drop it in. And very soon your bars are going to go into Morgan and drop it in. Your bars also have a online web portal where they can drop in documents, and you also get an online web portal, which I just got a text message from a broker, first-time broker that used us today, and they're like, "Oh my God, the portal's so easy." They're not experiencing an easier, simpler submission process. So, like one of the things we get feedback on is, simple little things like our system actually does the seller credits correctly. Our competitors can't figure out how to do seller credits right. So the little things like that, we get feedback on it makes it easy. That's the 40 years of experience is we've seen it all, and every little exception, every little problem has been figured out and programmed into the software so that your life is easy. But that's what makes mortgages hard, is all the curveballs you get, all the unexpected. But when you've been around as long as we have, we've seen everything. Nothing's unexpected for us. And May, I know you use Morgan like nonstop all day long. So
Absolutely. When Angel was referring to earlier, Googling and finding the answers on your own, that no longer exists in my world at all. Whenever I have a question, and I tell people all the time, they call me looking for an answer, and I definitely don't have all the answers. I don't even want to have all the answers, but I tell them I use Morgan. When I don't know something, I use Morgan all the time. I used her a lot today, and I got the answer I needed.
I'll put it this way, May's a certified genius. I think her IQ is probably exceeding 170. And May doesn't have all the answers. So it's just, the thing is that, Morgan's tied into big data. It's got, and it's literally got unlimited capacity. And every time a Morgan doesn't have an answer and a human helps it, right? Well, it's got one more answer now, and it's permanent.
Yeah. So it's, as you guys can see, it's the technology that makes the process so smooth and easy. You get those handful of tasks done, hit submit or tell Morgan to submit, loan setup, and with underwriting within an hour, conditional approval by the morning. We talked about our condition review times. We have loan coordinators that are all bilingual, English and Spanish, that will help you get conditions in. So they'll work with your borrowers, get any sort of borrower conditions in, follow up on third-party conditions. And once those conditions do get in, you have a true approval. So that is a conditionally guaranteed approval. Your borrower gets a new letter. So when they're shopping, they can actually make offers that compete with cash offers because they don't have to worry about whether or not their loan's going to get approved once they get under contract. We can also do an early PIW check. So we'll do a check ahead of time when they have a property that they like, see if we would be able to grant a property inspection waiver. Then that way, if they'd like, they can make an offer without even appraisal contingency.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. We do a lot of offers. Our originators, our partners do a lot of offers with no loan contingency and no appraisal contingency. So when they're putting that offer in, guess, and if there's multiple offers, guess whose offer is going to win? And if there isn't multiple offers, you get to drive the price lower and you get a better deal for your buyer. And not only that, but your referral partner, your realtor, is going to love it. Everyone's happy. Hey, May, can you think of any good Morgan scenarios you've done lately?
Yesterday, I had a loan officer reach out to me. She wanted to know if the borrower was previously a 1099 borrower, started his own business a little over a year ago. And she wasn't sure if we would be able to use his self-employment income since he didn't have a 2-year history. And I went right to Morgan, input that information, and Morgan came back to me with it was an FHA loan, the exact FHA guideline. And the funny thing about the story is when I gave the LO Morgan's answer, she didn't believe it. She was like, but how do I know? Like, she was so adamant on not wanting to go to her borrower and tell her borrower that, we said this, and then later on we changed. And I told her about the warranty, and that is, if you submit the loan to SunWest, we stand by what Morgan says. But she didn't believe me, so I literally had to send her in black and white the FHA guideline from the 4,000.1, which was exactly what Morgan said. And then she was okay. So Morgan is very accurate, and it is what I use when I don't have an answer.
Morgan is accurate, but more importantly is the warranty is real. And I don't blame her for not believing you, because this is an industry first. Almost got this. So that's why we're doing these, is to get the education out there. This is an amazing tool. This could help you all blow up your business, get new referral partners. You've got an edge. We're giving you technology. We're giving you a warranty that gives you an edge and lets you stand out ahead from the competition. Go in with a warranty, with the no loan contingency and no appraisal contingency offer. Who can ask for more? Not to mention our pricing is great also.
Right. We have
but
it all.
Wait, there's more.
Right.
So in this market, very big selling point for your borrowers and your realtor partners, the lock and shop. So you can lock your TBDs up to 90 days. There's no additional cost to that. It's whatever the price is, whether you have the property or it's a TBD. We mentioned doing an early PIW check, so your borrowers know going into the offer, is there going to be an appraisal condition on the file? Get your loans approved by 8 a.m. the next morning. 1 hour condition review, 24 hours a day. So lots of exciting stuff to be able to offer to your borrowers. Product wise, we have a really wide variety of products, and this part's huge. We have no overlays, 0 overlays. So your FHA, VA, FICOs, we can go down to 500, USDA 581, conventional down to 620. And as you saw earlier with our turn time stats, that does not change the turn time. So we're going to be just as quick with a borrower with a 500 credit score as we are with a 780.
Actually, there's a correction needed on the slide. We also do no credit score FHA and VA loan. That would be the non-traditional credit. There's very few lenders that do that, and we also do manual underwrites on conventional. Yeah. That happens every now and then. Even though you have on the conventional loans, even though you get a higher credit score, but you'll have some weird thing going on that requires a manual underwrite, and we'll do those as well.
Yeah, down payment assistance programs, that would be a great question to ask Morgan, because we have a ton of down payment assistance programs that are specific to different cities, different counties. So you could ask Morgan, hey, what DPAs are available? Tell her where you're licensed. She'll send you the whole list. She'll send you the guidelines if you want. Renovation, rehab loans. We're actually one of the largest providers of reverse mortgage in the country. We've been doing it for a really long time. And that is a very popular product in this market. So as Pavan said earlier, next week, we're going to be talking all about reverse on Friday. So join us to learn a little bit more about the product and how it can help your borrowers. We have our jumbo loans. We have the 3-2-1 and the 2-1 buy down for FHA, VA, and conventional. So that is another popular thing to do during this market time. SunWest does service the majority of our loans, so it's just a small percentage of our non-QM. We don't maintain servicing for everything else. We're going to maintain servicing. There's a lot of benefits to that, but two main benefits. One, we can make sure that your borrowers continue to have a good experience even after closing. So it's not just rolling the dice, not knowing who they're going to end up with. If you look up our servicing team, they have excellent reviews. The other great thing is at the very top of every mortgage statement, your picture, your contact information. So you're staying top of mind. They've always got your contact information.
Yeah, and two things I'd like to add there is if you go on our turn times on stmc.com turn times, other lenders publish their underwriting turn times, and of course ours are amazing. Almost even close to our 1 hour review and 8 a.m. approval. But uniquely, we publish our loan servicing turn times. So we publish how many seconds on hold a loan servicing customer is before their phone is answered by a human, not by an automated attendant, but by a human. And I think the latest number is like 65 or 70% of the loan of the inbound calls are on hold for less than 10 seconds, and 100% are answered in under 30 seconds. So all of you out there who've got a mortgage and you're serviced by a big box servicer, think about the last time you called them and test it out. Give them a call, see how long you're on hold to ask a simple question. And that's the confidence that you will be selling, because from your customer's perspective, the value add is how they will experience, how they will feel for the next 30 years. Because if they have a bad feeling, that reflects upon you and your ability to get a referral. So.
Yeah, it's true. I have borrowers that call me on closed loans all the time, wanting something from servicing, and before I can even get them an answer, they already, because they will have called servicing first, maybe left a message, maybe it was, after hours, and they'll call me back and they'll say, "Oh, you don't need to worry about it. Someone already called me back." So our servicing team is really great.
Yeah, and some exciting news on the horizon. Very soon, we will have Morgan will be available to our loan servicing customers. They'll be able to go to Morgan and ask any of their loan servicing inquiries through Morgan. That will be 24/7. Make payments through Morgan, and so on and so on. So that is in the works right now.
And that's huge, because if you're thinking from your borrower's perspective, the origination process, of course, that's important. And that's what we've really been focusing on, is how efficiently we can get the loan originated. But from the borrower's perspective, if they're going to have this loan for 10, 20, 30 years, that origination piece is such a small part of their experience. And wherever their loan is being serviced, it's a reflection of you. It's part of your reputation. They got that loan with you. So you're forever going to be associated with the experience they're having with their servicer. So it is important to make sure that your loan's being serviced by a team that you trust.
Yeah, not only that, but rates are high right now, and there's not a lot of refi activity. But we know whatever goes up eventually comes down. And we don't know when, but they'll come down again. And there will be another refi wave. And you don't want your customers to say, "Oh, I didn't like where you sent me last time." And our Customers for Life program, those customers come back to you every single time.
Marketing wise, we have an awesome marketing team. They can do just about anything. We've got graphic designers, video editors, content writers. Of course, there's plenty of just off the shelf things that can be really quickly customized to include your information. But if you have, something unique to your community, you want to take a different angle on something, let our marketing team know. 24 to 48 hours, they'll have it back to you for review. They'll take care of compliance review. So lots of really cool stuff that you can do with marketing by utilizing our team. This is always a fun one to talk about. Get your commissions fast. So for our retail loan officers, once your license is transferred, as soon as we get final confirmation of your loan funding, commissions in your account within 24 hours. A lot of times when loan officers are first coming on board on our retail side, you're working with a transition loan officer. So I just like to be totally transparent and upfront with no surprises here. So if you're working with a transition loan officer when you're first coming on board, that commission will get paid on a regular pay date, 7th or the 22nd. But once you're up and running, your license is transferred, that 24-hour thing kicks in. So you can get that money fast.
And as far as I know, we're the only lenders that have the technology to do this. And it's again, once again, it's all automated. It's like clockwork. You loan funds, money's there, it's done. You don't have to chase. You don't have to ask for advances. You don't have to chase anybody. I don't want your money. I have enough money. I don't want your money. I want you to have your money.
We also offer a recruiting bonus. So if you did come on board with us and you have, colleagues, friends in the industry that you think this would also be a great fit for, we will, if we bring them on board, we'll pay you a commission, a recruitment bonus of 10 basis points on every loan they close. As long as they're with us and you're with us, you're getting that 10 basis points. This is really unique because it doesn't come out of their pricing. So this is from the company. This is a thank you. So your buddies getting the same deal that you got. You don't have to manage them. They get the same pricing. It's truly a thank you.
Yeah, and think about it. You could build yourself an annuity for life this way. Right. So if you recruit $10 million of production, you're making $10,000 a month. It's just an annuity. It's a check that comes in month after month.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about our technology and how that keeps our costs low, keeps loans flowing through the system really quickly, easily. But by keeping our costs low, that's how we can offer the pricing to you that we offer. Aside from the technology, the other area that SunWest is very different is our very flat structure. So we do not have all the layers of management that you see at a typical mortgage company where everyone's getting overrides, and all of that is what your clients pay for. So this is just a really straight comparison of the average of what is out there. Most companies you're going to see about 150 basis points is the corporate take. At SunWest, we take 50. We put MLO comp at 150 across the board. So we're keeping that even. Those management layers, on average, that's 100 basis points right on top. So we don't have that at SunWest. We work lean and mean. And so we have 0 basis points there for management layers. Operation expenses typically is around 75 basis points. SunWest is 0. The AI actually does not get paid a salary. So brick and mortar, 8 basis points, 3 if you've got a brick and mortar here at SunWest. So you can see the difference in the industry average. It's about 280 basis points. That can be a whole percentage.
Yeah, and I think our fundamental structure is different. I mean, most mortgage companies are designed, retail lenders, most retail lenders are designed like a multi-level marketing scheme. Right. So it's like the Amway model, like everyone gets paid on everyone else's work, and you layer that on top of each other. And ultimately, who's paying for it in the end?
The buyer.
Is your borrowers paying for it, and you're paying for it. So all that is commissions that really should be yours. So all they do is they take recruiters and then they give them fancy titles and they make them area managers, regional managers, this thing, that thing. And it's just a shell game. And it's all it is a pyramid, a multi-level marketing pyramid. Don't fall for it. So look at the bottom line. We publish our rates. It's transparent. Go to sunwestpartners.com. It's all there. And our retail rates are 50 basis points connected behind the wholesale rate sheet, so we don't undercut our wholesale partners. So it's all clear and transparent for everyone to see in one place. And there's never a shell game. There's never anything hidden. There's nothing behind the sheet. It cannot be. When the wholesale rate sheet is published for a top wholesale lender, and the retail rate sheet is connected directly to the wholesale rate sheet.
Yes. You guys, if you're interested, you can also get access to our pricing tool. We have a very cool, easy to use pricing tool that's built right into our LOS. It's proprietary, so we don't use Optimal Blue, anything like that. But if you would like a login, just tell you're in Morgan right now, right? So just tell Morgan, and we can get you a pricing login so that you can log in and price out actual scenarios, compare apples to apples with where you are at. And the tool, you'll see, is very easy to use. You'll be able to figure it out. I'm confident in you guys. But you can lock, relock, extend your lock all right there within the tool. Another great thing about being a 24-hour operation is you can also lock 24 hours a day. So just to kind of summarize things we've talked about today, look at that. I'm right on schedule, just as we planned. Sunwest is a very solid company. We've been around for over 42 years now, always family owned and operated, very strong capital, absolutely no debt. Our structure is very flat, so our originators work directly with our senior leadership. We can make sure, if an issue does come up, not only is it taken care of right away, which is very important, but also they're in the position to look at the process as a whole and say, why did this come up, and fix it? Because there's nothing more frustrating than having an issue come up and then having it come up on your next file and your next file. So you'll see that our process is continually evolving with the feedback from our originators. Our underwriting, it's fast, it's consistent, it's reliable, it's 24 hours a day, and we really lead the industry in the technology that we offer.
And you never have to worry about our underwriters getting cranky, because AI never gets cranky. You don't have to sweet talk Morgan. You just tell Morgan as it is. And if you don't like what Morgan's telling you, you just tell, I don't like it. You don't have to be nice to it. Morgan will always be nice to you. And you're there, you're in Morgan right now. Ask Morgan if she loves you. Go ahead. It's okay. You can see what she says.
You can vent to Morgan. You can disagree with her all you want. She'll still tell you she loves you. She'll still review your loans and your documents the exact same way.
And you can also tell Morgan, hey, I totally, absolutely 100% disagree with what you're saying. And Morgan will automatically escalate it to our head of credit.
Yeah, that's a great point, Pavan, because we call Morgan people-powered AI technology. And that's how we can say you'll always get the help that you need from Morgan. Because if you're asking to escalate something beyond the power of the AI, you're going to get a live person there in the chat with you to help you. So you'll never get that. Try back in the morning. Sorry, can't help you. Morgan will always be able to help you. Try it out. So you guys are in Morgan now. If you have any questions about anything that we just talked about, ask Morgan. If you'd like to talk to someone live, get some more information, ask questions, just tell Morgan and she'll get you hooked up with someone. So we really appreciate you guys spending a little bit of your day with us. Hopefully you learned a little bit, got some ideas of how you can be more successful with more productivity tools. Any last words of wisdom, Pavan or May?
I'd just like to say that Morgan really is my new best friend. I mean, I think my real best friend is a little jealous because I probably talk to Morgan more than I talk to her. But Morgan really is, you can ask Morgan anything, any question. There's no silly question. There's no dumb question. You're going to get the answer you need to get the conditions resolved and get that loan closed. So I recommend everyone, please, whatever question you have now, whatever you're thinking about, just check out Morgan. I guarantee you'll be happy with the results.
Okay, don't forget to connect with us on social media and check out our YouTube channel. There's tons of amazing content there, and lots of tutorials and lots of explanations and lots of information from realtors and loan officers all over the country. So looking forward to talking to you all one-on-one. If you want to talk to me, you just tell Morgan you want to talk to Pavan and Morgan will set it up.
She can do anything. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Cheers.